What's up, guys? So I know it's late, but this video is my ANZAC Day video, which was actually yesterday, and I was sort of more preoccupied with actually commemorating the day than vlogging it. So we're going to do this instead. Also with the lockdown, the quarantine, whatever you want to call it, still happening. A lot of the services were not what they usually are, but it's still an important day and we're still going to talk about it. So I got a couple of things we're going to talk about. The opening paragraph on the Wikipedia page for ANZAC Day, obviously, is where I'm going to start. So it says there that ANZAC Day is a national day of remembrance in Australia and New Zealand, that broadly commemorates all Australian and New Zealanders who served and died in all wars, conflicts and peacekeeping operations, and the contribution and suffering of all those who have served. It's observed on the 25th of April each year, and was originally devised to honour the members of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, which obviously the acronym for is ANZAC, who served in the Gallipoli campaign, their first engagement in the First World War. There are dawn services held in Australia, in New Zealand, and there's also one held at Gallipoli itself, which is usually heavily televised. But obviously, because of coronavirus, none of those could happen because we want to be avoiding large crowds, and those draw large crowds. There are people who actually travel from Australia and New Zealand to go to Gallipoli purely for that one service. And yeah, I personally couldn't fathom going over just for that service. I think if I was going to go over, I'd go for the service and then I'd stay and actually do some touring around. I wouldn't just make a weekend trip of going to Turkey. But yeah, is what it is. So that's what it says there. The dawn services that were held, however, I think there was one guy I read some articles yesterday, because I wanted to know how everyone else was celebrating it. I think one guy, I want to say in Queensland somewhere, I feel like it's Brisbane, but I also could be completely wrong. Anyway, he marched down his driveway playing the bagpipes, and that was his ANZAC Day parade. I'm assuming he would have normally have played the actual ANZAC Day parade, but since he wasn't on, he decided that he was still going to march anyway. A whole heap of other people sort of got up and did their own little private dawn services, again, standing in their driveways. You can literally search, actually I'm going to do that right now. Let me search driveway dawn service. It's an actual, and yep. Top article in the little top story bit says Australians turn out for driveway dawn service to mark ANZAC Day in time of coronavirus. Another one says it was a lot more real, one Sydney Street's driveway dawn service. There's 3 other links in the little top story section, and then we come down to there's a 9 News link to their YouTube for Aussies holding nationwide driveway dawn services. So it was an actual thing that happened, and I think that just goes to show solidarity, especially in a time like this. But yeah, so that's sort of what happened yesterday. There are 2 other things I'm going to talk about. Obviously, most notably, we're going to talk about the ANZAC biscuit. I'm going to, again, on Wikipedia, read the little top bit before we get into all the little drop sections. So the ANZAC biscuit is a sweet biscuit popular in Australia and New Zealand, made using rolled oats, flour, sugar, butter or margarine, golden syrup, baking powder, boiling water, and, optionally, desiccated coconut. ANZAC biscuits have long been associated with the ANZACs, established in World War One. It's been claimed that the biscuits were sent by wives and women's groups to soldiers abroad because the ingredients do not spoil easily, and the biscuits kept well during naval transport. However, this information has been contradicted. The ANZAC biscuits were never sent to the soldiers and were instead eaten by Australians and Kiwis at home in order to raise funds for the war. In general, it's unclear which of these two competing claims is true. However, evidence has been found which suggests that soldiers were sent homemade biscuits during World War One, suggesting they could likely have been sent ANZAC biscuits. They should not be confused with hardtack, which was nicknamed ANZAC wafers in Australia and New Zealand. I had heard a third possible origin for the biscuit themselves, so if you've also heard about this, let me know in the comments. But if I'm sounding completely crazy, also let me know in the comments, because I want to know exactly what dimension I've woken up in. I had a conversation with a friend this morning, and we got all sorts of conspiracy theory. They'd never heard of the Mandela effect, for one thing. But I've got a whole theory video about that coming up, so we'll get to that in due course. But what I remembered the origin of the biscuit being was that it was something sweet that the soldiers themselves were able to make from their ration packs, that they were able to make the biscuits themselves. I had also, I don't know if it says somewhere down here in the rest of this article, but I also thought that they had, or at least there's a variation of them that has raisins or sultanas or currants or whatever you want to call them in it as well. I don't know if that's blasphemous or whatever to the ANZAC biscuit or not. Leave your opinions in the comment section down below. If you put sultanas in the ANZAC biscuit, because evidently there are no sultanas in these bad boys. But yeah, if you think that putting sultanas in them makes them a different biscuit, I'd love to hear your opinions. Really gonna make this one a talking point video, I think. And then the last thing that I wanted to look at was I got very interested in the origin of the salute, and we have and I will leave this particular link down below. The others are just Wikipedia, you can literally just search them easy enough yourself. But this one's the Australian Army. Right, so army.gov.au, and to get there, we're in, is it in that section? Yeah, okay, so on the little sidebar, there's like history, museums, traditions, you click on that one. Oh, sorry, across the top, we're going to our heritage, down the side, traditions, and you scroll down till you find the salute, if you're wanting to search this yourself. But it's a very short little bit, so I should be able to breeze through it quickly. And I kind of like both of these. Definitely reminds me of something else, and I'll get to that in a second. The second one's not as nice as the salute, obviously. So the salute is a military custom by which a soldier signals acknowledgement of due respect to a superior rank. Salutes are reciprocated at the highest levels, up to and including heads of state, and are indicative of a feeling of mutual trust and respect. The exact origin of the military salute has been lost in time, but it's believed it originated by showing that the right hand, the fighting hand, was not concealing a weapon. Obviously, right hands being sort of the dominant hand the world over, but if you're left hand dominant, I would assume that you would salute with your left hand. Maybe. I don't know if that would be allowed, according to like military rules and customs. I think that's only allowed if you have lost your right hand, sort of thing. Either way, so you sort of, to show that you are not holding a weapon, and it's that particular thing inverted that I'll get to in a second. Another explanation is that when men-at-arms took to wearing armour, the approaching generals or king would ride forward and, holding onto the reins with their left hand, would raise their visor with their right to identify each other. So it's sort of showing that you're not holding a weapon, you are identifying yourself, and also a sign of respect. And they're all kind of cool origins. It's not to say that that they suddenly realized that, you know, holding up your hand, I'm not holding a weapon, raising your visor, you're always putting your hand up. So just took that to being like, I respect you, I'm trying to kill you, I'm here, fully identifying myself. There's nothing to say that both can't be the origin, and they're just sort of at some point mixed together. But by the end of the 19th century, the salute with the hand palm to the front was firmly established. So it's not this, it's this. I think it might be that in America. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Is it like this or like this? The Australian Army obviously salutes like this. Now the other thing that I was going to talk about was when you stick your fingers up like this at someone, in a similar way to showing that you're not concealing a weapon. I'm not exactly sure of the year or what the war was, but it was the English versus the French, so I'm thinking sometime around, you know, Middle Ages sort of thing. And I believe it was the British used to, if they captured an enemy archer, they would cut off their fingers that they would use to pull the arrow back, so they could no longer attack them. And then in this way, they'd be walking around unable to help their cause, sort of thing, with their fingers missing and unable to pull an arrow back to attack. And so doing this as a sign of disrespect to the opposite of the salute came from basically the French showing the English that they could still kill them, kind of thing. Like, I can still pull an arrow back, I've still got my fingers, you need to be careful, sort of thing. Which, yeah, I don't know, I got interested and I thought the origin of the salute was cool, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But yeah, that's all I've got for the day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see more videos from me and be notified when I upload new ones. That army link will be in the description down below. Until next time, keep your head screwed on.